When the patient registration clerk told security to escort him out, they thought he was just another tired old man. But 30 minutes later, the hospital corridors fell silent, because the chief of staff came running, followed by the entire medical team. And that's when they realized exactly who they had just thrown out. Welcome to Oldlight Stories. Before we begin this powerful tale, tell us in the comments which city you're watching from today. And if you believe stories like this deserve to be heard, hit that subscribe button. These stories matter. St. Mary's General Hospital lobby buzzed with its usual afternoon chaos. Patients, visitors, the distant wail of ambulances. At the registration desk, young clerk Emma Martinez went through her routine: ID checks, appointment verifications, just another Tuesday shift. At 2:30 p.m., an elderly man entered the lobby. Mid-70s, silver hair, wearing a simple cardigan and worn dress shoes. He walked slowly but purposefully toward the registration desk, looked at Emma, but said nothing. Just waited quietly. "Sir?" Emma said, glancing up from her computer. "How can I help you?" "I'm here to see Dr. Mitchell," the old man said calmly. Emma typed quickly. "Your name, please? Do you have an appointment?" "Henry Richardson. No appointment, but it's about the cardiac surgery department." Emma scanned the system. "No record found." "I'm sorry, sir, but I don't see any active patient file for Henry Richardson. We don't accept walk-ins for specialty consultations." Henry nodded, understanding. "I see. Could you perhaps call Dr. Mitchell? Tell him Henry is here." "Sir, I can't disturb physicians without proper scheduling. If you'd like to make an appointment..." "It's urgent," Henry said quietly. "It's about the new bypass procedure. There's a complication with the technique." Emma frowned. This elderly man was talking about complex cardiac surgery like he understood it. But hospital policy was clear. "Sir, I'm going to have to ask you to either schedule properly or..." "Is there a problem here?" Security guard Mike Torres approached, having noticed the extended conversation. Emma looked relieved. This gentleman doesn't have an appointment but insists on seeing Dr. Mitchell about surgery matters. Mike studied Henry. He seemed harmless enough, but rules were rules. "Sir, if you don't have business here, I'll need to ask you to leave." Henry looked between them both. For a moment, it seemed like he might explain something. Then he simply said, "I understand, no problem." He turned and walked slowly toward the exit. Mike followed at a respectful distance, making sure he actually left. Henry pushed through the glass doors and disappeared into the afternoon crowd. "Weird," Emma muttered, returning to her computer. What neither Emma nor Mike noticed was the small plastic card that had slipped from Henry's cardigan pocket when he stood up. It had skittered under a nearby chair, forgotten. 25 minutes later, maintenance worker Carlos was emptying trash bins when he spotted the card. He picked it up, expecting to return a lost insurance card or ID. But what he saw made him stop breathing. It was a hospital access badge, old style, probably 15 years outdated, but the photo was unmistakably the man who'd been escorted out. And the name on it read, Dr. Henry Richardson, Chief of Cardiac Surgery. Carlos stared at it for a full 10 seconds. Then he ran. He found Mike first. "Hey man, you see this old guy who got kicked out? You need to see this." He held up the badge. Mike's face went pale. "Oh no, oh no, no, no." They both ran to Emma's desk. "Emma, that old man, do you still have his name in your system?" "Henry Richardson?" "Yeah, why? I told you there was no." "Try Dr. Henry Richardson," Mike said urgently. Emma typed with shaking fingers. The screen populated immediately. Dr. Henry Richardson, employed 1976, 2019. Chief of Cardiac Surgery 1985, 2019. 247 successful operations. Developer of the Richardson bypass technique, founded the Pediatric Cardiac Unit, recipient of the Lifetime Achievement Award for Medical Excellence. The screen showed retired, emeritus status, permanent consultation privileges. Emma's hands flew to her mouth. Oh my God. Mike was already on his radio. "Code white to administration. We have a VIP situation. Need Dr. Mitchell immediately." Within 3 minutes, the lobby transformed. Dr. Patricia Mitchell, Chief of Cardiac Surgery, burst through the stairwell doors, still wearing surgical scrubs. Behind her came Dr. James Chen, head of medicine, and Dr. W. Blank. Sarah Williams from administration. Where is he? Dr. A.T. Doppler-Graven. Mitchell demanded. We escorted him out, Mike said weakly. Mitchell's face went through several emotions. You escorted out Dr. Henry Richardson? The Henry Richardson? Emma found her voice. We didn't know. He just said Henry Richardson. There was no file in the active patient system. Because he's not a patient. Dr. Richardson. Mitchell snapped. He's the most respected cardiac surgeon this hospital has ever had. He trained half our current staff. Dr. Chen stepped forward. What did he want? He mentioned something about the new bypass procedure, Emma whispered. Said there was a complication with the technique. Dr. 7 APF Leervist, Emma whispered. Mitchell went white. The Morrison case. We've been struggling with post-op complications on the new arterial approach. If Dr. Richardson came here about that. She was already moving toward the exit. Find him, now. The search lasted 20 minutes. Security cameras showed Henry walking 3 blocks east, then disappearing into the afternoon pedestrian traffic. Dr. Blank's sir. Mitchell personally drove the surrounding streets. Nothing. Finally, Dr. Chen suggested checking Henry's emergency contact information. They called his daughter. Dad went to the hospital? Rebecca Richardson sounded confused. He doesn't usually. Oh wait. He mentioned reading about some new cardiac technique in a medical journal. Said it reminded him of problems they'd solved 20 years ago. Where might he go? Dr. F. note. Mitchell asked urgently. Probably home. He doesn't like being away too long. But Dr. Mitchell? He won't come back if he feels unwelcome. Dad's pride runs deep. Dr. Mitchell closed her eyes. The most experienced cardiac surgeon in the city had come to help, and they'd thrown him out like a vagrant. An hour later, Dr. Mitchell stood on Henry Richardson's front porch, holding a formal letter of apology and a consultation request. Henry answered the door, unsurprised to see her. Dr. Richardson, I owe you the deepest apology. Henry studied her for a moment. Patricia, you were in your 3rd year of residency when I retired. How's the Morrison case progressing? She blinked. How did you? Medical journals, old habits. He smiled slightly. The arterial attachment point you're using? We tried that approach in 2003. Similar complications. Would you like to know what we learned? 30 minutes later, they sat in Henry's study, surrounded by medical texts and old case files. He explained the modification that had solved the complication pattern 2 decades earlier. The attachment angle needs to be adjusted by 15 degrees, and the suture technique requires a double wrap approach, Henry said, sketching on a notepad. We documented everything, but I suspect the files were archived when the computer systems changed. Dr. Blank's 14 hard. Mitchell studied his notes. This could save the Morrison case and prevent future complications. Henry nodded. Experience isn't always found in the newest textbooks. The next morning, Dr. Mitchell called an all-staff meeting. She told the story, not to embarrass Emma or Mike, but to ensure it never happened again. Dr. Richardson will be returning as an official consultant, she announced. His office on the 7th floor is being reactivated. And I want every staff member to know, experience and wisdom don't always come with active employment status. 2 weeks later, Henry Richardson walked through the same lobby. But this time, Emma smiled and said, Good morning, Dr. Test. Richardson, Dr. Mitchell is expecting you. Henry paused at her desk. Thank you, Emma, and no hard feelings about last time. You were doing your job. As he walked toward the elevators, Emma noticed something. Other doctors in the lobby stopped what they were doing. Some nodded respectfully. A few approached to shake his hand, and Dr. Mitchell emerged from the elevator to personally escort him upstairs. That's when Emma understood. They hadn't just escorted out an old man 2 weeks ago. They dismissed a legend. But legends, she learned, have a way of coming back when they're truly needed. Some heroes don't wear capes. Some don't even wear lab coats anymore. But their knowledge, their experience, their willingness to help, those never retire. Dr. N.E. Henry Richardson could have stayed home, could have ignored the medical journal, could have let pride keep him away after being turned away. Instead, he came back, Because sometimes the most valuable thing a person can offer isn't their title or their position, it's their wisdom. Have you ever met someone like Dr. Richardson? Someone whose experience was overlooked until the moment it was desperately needed? Share their story in the comments. Because at Oldlight Stories, we believe that wisdom earned through years of service deserves recognition, no matter how quietly it's offered. If this story moved you, subscribe and share. Help us honor those whose greatest contributions come not from seeking attention, but from simply showing up when it matters most. We'll see you in the next story. Until then, remember, the most important voices are often the quietest ones.